Ready to ask a question? Go
yes,
ahead.
thank you. Just for the benefit of the nominee, my name is Ichungwa. And Beatrice, I see you have a very rich background in social work, and you also mentioned you worked with Oxfam as a relief food officer. And I'm certain you know part of your work in this ministry will involve the procurement and distribution of relief food. But this is one area that has been riddled with a lot of malpractices, especially the procurement and distribution. I'd want to hear what you would do if you are approved by this committee to ensure, one, that you have a very accountable system of procurement of the relief food and how it will be distributed on the ground to make sure that it gets to the right people, not benefiting government officers who are charged with the responsibility of distributing it. Two, I don't see in your CV and your work experience any experience touching on trade matters. And you know the EAC docket with the East African community, trade is very critical. And part of the problems we have encountered in the recent past is having the government of Kenya not being present to negotiate on behalf of the country with the EAC countries. And we see an influx, especially of agricultural products, from onions, from our neighboring countries, potatoes, at times maize. Farmers in the south and North Rift, where you come from, suffer with their maize, and they can't market their maize because cheaper maize is coming from our neighbors in the region. What specific measures will you put in place to make sure that you negotiate for Kenya so that properly at the EAC to get exemptions on the tariff barriers that are there to make sure that our farmers are protected? Finally, I see you are a member of the selection panel of the Azimio running mate selection panel. That, and I'm asking this question because it would have a bearing on your decision-making abilities and capability. Do you think you made the right decision in your running mate decision in Azimio?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Majority Leader, Mr. Kimani. Now, on procurement on relief foods, actually the procurement process does not really have to be specific to the relief food. Procurement processes under finance are very clear, they are well stipulated, and the procedures must be followed in the sense that if a particular government, a particular institution would want to feed the people, and you've decided on a particular product to take to the people, what you do is you just advertise as it's been. You do all those procedures up to where you award the tender to distribute. And now after that, by the trickle down and up effect that we are saying, let's incorporate the communities down and then influence what happens here, originating from them. What we will do, we will produce a list of the potential beneficiaries or those ones that need to be helped or to be cushioned from the drought. Then those ones, lists that informs those that will benefit. Because the story to do with whether food reach the people or not, it's sometimes the making of the careless people because they think God in heaven is not watching. It is just good to be truthful. When it is time to feed the people, buy the food, make sure it reaches the most vulnerable members of the society. So for me, the procurement process is still as it is in the other ministries, in the other public finance management acts.
Maybe before she moves away from that question, Beatrice, particularly what I want to hear, I don't know if you have been briefed from the ministry, what happens? In the procurement of relief food, they will usually go to some organization called the supplies branch. They pre-qualify people as suppliers of relief food with set prices. Then when they are procuring, they will usually just give tenders to those who are already pre-qualified within the system. But from the time the supplies branch is pre-qualifying people, the prices given vary. For instance, a bag of maize or beans a year ago or 9 months ago may not be the price today. What I want to hear in terms of getting value for money for the people of Kenya, will we continue with the same old system through supplies branch, or will you come in with new thinking to make sure that the procurement process is very transparent. You are able to match with the market prices, because there's no reason